I'm so happy. I think she started this. Yeah. Welcome everyone on our 88th author interaction under Trends Literature series with Shrinivas. He's a business analyst by profession and historian by heart. His mission is to make people aware of India's glorious history and identity. He believes in traditional values with modern ethics. In fact, he gives a lot of lectures on the topic need to rewrite Indian history. I think we all agree that we need to kind of really change the narrative. So Shrinivas, I'd like to invite you to talk about your new book, Wake Up India, very relevant as there's definitely a need to evolve a deeper understanding of a culture globally. So welcome on our forum.
Thank you. Thank you.
So I'll delve into the conversation straight away. So why do you feel that a correct narrative for a country needs to be set? And why do we need more and more people need to participate in the upliftment of our own Bharat?
Yes. So thank you, Neeta ji, for introducing me. And yes, so you are right that it is really needed that we have our great Indian narrative in place, because right till now it is like we are looking at our own country with some Westerner specs, and it is time, and it is a great time, and it is also a high time that we should have our own narrative. And even the book, I have mentioned that our own great Indian narrative should be placed, because we have our own narrative. We are the oldest civilization, the only oldest civilization still existing, surviving very strongly. And it's not just about the survival. I talk about 3S, like survival, strengthen, and then show the path. And we as a civilization has great capacity and great history, great literature, that we can show the world that how like how the people should behave, how the people should live in, and how we can take this as a we say that Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. So if we are a one family, and we should like there are borders now, but if we think and we can be a one earth as a one family, and we as a civilization have this capacity that we can lead the world. And in one video also I have seen that number one, India as a number one is not a bad number one, because if we see now America, we call it is a number one, but it is very capitalistic, and driving it towards only who is having a money. China number one is really very dangerous. So the great number one will be always India. And now if I come to my book, so in book it is actually I have written about our true identity as a Hindu and as an Indian. I don't think there is a much difference between these two, because if something is body, other thing is the soul. So Hinduism is the soul of our country. And right now in this informative age, like where there is so much of bombardment of the information, general youth get confused at which is right, what is wrong. The people with some propaganda tries to with lot of money tries to bring in their propaganda in our mind. And we know how Google algorithm works. So I thought of putting what I have understood from different scriptures or writings of great people. I have put down in this Wake Up India book, and I want the youth that they should like join their personal aspirations with our country's aspirations. I have made an appeal in this book that now it is 75 years of independence. By 2047, it will be 100 years of independence, and today's youth will be in around 50s at that time. And if we still crib about the problems in our country even at that time, then you are responsible for that, not our other elder generation or any politician or leaders of this country. So we need to take our country in our hand. That yeah, everybody wants to do career, but along with that, we have time, we can utilize that time for our upliftment of our country, showing the world about our civilization, telling more about our civilization. In the book I have listed some points that how one can use his time for betterment of our country. There are different things like people can contribute in literary work. People can go visit some NGOs who like not go for convergence, but for some for good things in our country. And also there are so many things like one of my acquaint what he does, that he has studied everything, all the schemes of the government, and the people who we are not aware that what schemes actually government are placing us for us. He makes people aware of that schemes. So this kind of service everyone can do it along with his job, along with his business or career. So this is main point which I have put it in my book actually.
Fantastic. And you're such a busy professional, but your intentions and the way you're trying to change the narrative and talking about how we can improve and how we can wake up India, that's really noble. We really need thought leaders like you to be writing such books and making us aware. Most of the time we are aware of what is going on, but we definitely need a push through a book like yours to change the way we think and how we should really look at India as a whole. Our Prime Minister, he gives Bhagavad Gita always to the foreign dignitaries. You've devoted rather one entire chapter on spirituality, saying that it is the biggest gift to the world. So, how can Indian youth and millennials learn the spiritual process to make the world aware and establish peace, which is very relevant right now, especially keeping in mind what is happening with Russia, how Russia is
Yeah.
dealing with Ukraine? Yes.
Yeah, so great question, Neetaji. But yes, like luckily, spirituality is there in our air, in our India's air. So we don't need to go like, unfortunately for the foreigners, they have to visit India to know more about the spirituality, to be inclusive, go inside us. So, but we are very lucky that we have so many gurus and this guru shishya parampara, which we say in our country. And there are, even in today's time, there are great gurus like Sadhguru Jaggi Vasudev, Sri Ravi Shankar, Ramdev Baba, which are actually guiding us in great way. And this spirituality will, as it will help us as an individual to grow in our life. Generally people equate spirituality like with weakness, that a spiritual person might be very over kind or very weak. But if I recollect one of the videos from Sadhguru, he says that uh, Lord Ram was spiritual, but he is holding one arrow and bow, so it is not a sign of a weakness. So actually spirituality gives us a strength, and with that strength we can actually lead the world. We can show a great path to the world for, as you rightly said, now Russia and Ukraine, what is happening over there. So this is all about the negative, no violence thing. But if as India, if we guide the world, it will be a very peaceful world. By sure, no one will attack. Like we are, I am very proud that my country never attacked anybody, and still we are existing, and we are so much, and people lecture us about tolerance and everything. But we have shown a universal, what is universal tolerance, what is mutual respect towards the world. This is all because we are having spirituality in our DNA itself,
So
which
right.
I feel it is a great thing, and it is coming from one generation to another. And like I feel very proud to be a citizen of this civilization plus a country.
So very well said. So, but why do you say in the book that secularism is the most debated topic in India?
Yeah.
You also say that today's youth must be aware of any fringe elements hampering our civilization and Indianness. Please elaborate on this.
Yeah. So secularism is actually very, see that every 6 months somebody does something in our country, and then the secularism topic comes in the TV debates, and people from in different channels speak about it very loudly. So what I feel, the secularism, even I have mentioned in the book, it was really necessary where in the like around 500 years ago in Europe, because there the church involvement in the state was so much that there they have to get separated, the church and the state. So the secularism thing came. But this secularism, which we call sarva dharma samabhav, or everybody has right to preach his own religion and follow his own religion. That is actually pluralism, which we already believe in. We are because we know that every religion came from outside. We welcome them with open arms, and everybody is preaching their own religion. So that part, we do not need anybody to lecture us on this topic. And like as I mentioned, that because that European enlightenment happened, now again we don't need, even like a great example which I like top of my head is uh, when we got independence, our great leaders of that time discussed this secularism topic to be whether it should be included in our constitution. But they debated and said that it is so much in our DNA, we do not need it. Like we don't need to our citizens to like yo yeah tell them that now you are a secular person. We are secular, so we do not need to have something in wording. But unfortunately, after I guess 1976, it was part of our constitution. But this was actual our thinking that we are by default secular.
I, yeah, you're so right. Padam Shri Girish Parashne, who's also written in the book about the book, says that today's generation of Indian youth is really influenced by so-called secularists. I mean, this is in continuation to the earlier answer you were giving. So they don't know their identity. You've been advocating that one should really indulge oneself in the service of the nation, along with personal aspirations. So how would you like to talk about it? Because it is important to find one's own way of living, but yes, at the same time, besides the personal inspirations, you need to inspire the millennials or anyone who agrees and wants to carry this way of thinking forward.
Yeah, so actually, one must understand that our own growth is parallel with the country's growth, or vice versa. If a country grows, you can grow, and same way. So, like what I have mentioned in the even in the book, that we can, as a today's generation, there is a huge majority of we say that we are the youngest nation, and if we want to take this country forward, it is like just getting focused in our own piece of thing, like my career, my family. Along with that, we should have something that what about my country? And luckily, around I guess 2 weeks back, our Prime Minister Narendra Modi tweeted same thing, that please
Yes,
join your personal aspirations with the country's aspiration.
so right.
Just to give an example, like how we can do small thing in our part. Like we don't need to be a politician or big businessman to bring change in our area. There is one example, like a lady called Tripti Gaikwad. I think she's a lawyer, and she has started one organization called Samarpanam. I think she does that. Un, we see that there are some thrown away photos of our gods, goddesses, murtis of our deities. What she does, she collects that murtis and change that into some toys or some
Mm.
different kinds of showpieces. Obviously, after all the rituals, which is there because people are very superstitious in our country. So she does everything. How it helps? It keeps our area clean. No one
Mm.
goes to that we because of our some orthodox thinking. We do not go to touch that thing. Even that I live near one river. I see such murtis and photos of
Yes.
our god which preach so much. We are in love with our god, but we see those photos like this on the our like paths. So this kind of service, it is not a very big thing happening around in, or one needs not to be do so many no, like to be in some big position to do that. As simple of a person can do in this way. So there are so many examples. Even there are we can do enlighten people with some knowledge if we have. So this kind of service can enhance our country. Like there are many young groups also which are motivated, which go to make like clean beaches around, like Juhu Beach. We see that many NGOs visit there and clean that beaches. People are there who There are many people who read scriptures and enlighten people, like in their Saturday, Sunday, or on weekends, go to some orphanage or somewhere, and what they know. Just to highlight one thing, uh, in 2014 there was one Marathi movie by name Lokmanya. It was about Lokmanya Tilak. In that movie, Lokmanya Tilak says that you, wherever, in whatever field you have skills, use that skills for our country, so that along with your skill, even country get uplifted. So this type of approach, because their approach is very much important, where one should feel that only tweeting something about our country, or supporting one leader, that he will do everything. He will do
Right.
in his own space. He cannot do everything in this 135 billion crore country. So in our society, in our areas, we can bring change. One of my friend, what he does, like every month, he collects one what is fist of rice, or wheat from his society, and donate in one NGO where there is this requirement. Because now in society around 200 300 families are there. Every month, if one feast all of grains is also collected, it is a huge for one NGO. So
Hmm.
these small things also we can do, but you need that approach, you need that love for your country, love for your area, so to enhance this or take part in that.
Very well said. When I was reading a book, I could just finish it, I think, in an hour or so. It's such a short book. And as I just mentioned, one can really finish it in one sitting, and it definitely inspires. So, was it purposely written in such a brief manner so that, as I feel that people are getting increasingly short span of
Correct.
attention, and they want to kind of sometimes don't read. So was it done with a purpose that you came out
Yes,
with such a
yes.
short book?
Yeah, so it was with a purpose, because we know even and my generation people are not even seeing the full videos. They are now interested in Instagram Reels. So this much span of is there for people now. They can focus span is there. So what I, as you said, that you finish the book in one sitting only, in 1 hour, an hour.
Hmm.
So my focus is that only, that people should read it, understand about our civilization, understand different things of our Hinduism, of our India, and then getting that knowledge now work for our country. So this should, like, one thinking is enough to change our thing, like what we have to do for our country. So this was my purpose, that people should read it fast, get the knowledge, and then apply it, as because there are very few people who are, we call it readers, like they love
Hmm.
reading. So nowadays the that number is also getting slower, because of the people are more on Facebook than on books. So so that's why, like, this is the main purpose behind writing a book, small
You
book.
just answered my next question, where I wanted to know what was the main idea about writing this book. You've already answered that, but your cover is very significant. I mean, a boy seems to be sprinting towards Wake Up India. So, so tell me, I mean, it somehow reminds me of the current viral video that we have of Pradeep Mehra.
Yeah. Yeah, great
Somehow
influence.
it kind of gels with what you're, and somehow people did wake up after watching that viral, and it give they gave them a reason to be inspired about. So please tell us about the cover that you made, because it has a lot of elements, a lot
So
of
firstly, I
significance.
like congratulate Garud Prakashan for this, because I have just given them the idea that this is the reason, these are the things in the book, and this is my thinking behind this book, and they correctly put that in the cover. So as you said, that the Pradeep guy who works in a McDonald, but his aim is to join army. So this is actually the purpose behind the book. Like, though you are serving your family, but there is some larger goals about our own country. And this cover, like you rightly said, that boy is sprinting, and we, along with his journey, he's taking his country forward. If you see it, maybe in the video it is not very much visible, but if you see that in the background there are people protesting. So these protesting people that uh, our, I guess, Prime Minister only says, what he says, that Andolan GV. So we need to get aware at who is the actual Andolan GV and who is working for our country, and like not focusing on all these things. Just focus on your own work and or your and for the country and go ahead.
Yes, so right. That's why, sometimes I've known of readers and I've known of people who pick up a book by the cover. They look into it so deeply, and I'm sure this is so self explanatory that we definitely encourage people to read the book and also buy it. And I must tell everyone it is available on I think, Garuda Prakashan website. You can always go and order and read the book. And also, there are 5 giveaways of this session. So definitely, after this YouTube is on YouTube video, you can always go there and subscribe to the channel and also write your comments. And rest of the people can definitely order the book. Tell me, I mean, sometimes I feel that reading is the key. I mean, unless you read, you don't come to know about things. So, but from your perspective, how much reading will help the future generation bound to the roots, and what kind of books they should be reading to encourage them to find out more about India, its past, present, and of course, the future.
So, like anybody who is having interest or want to do something, or even if he's not motivated, one person's book can motivate him. He is Swami Vivekananda's book, which I feel personally. He has motivated me a lot because when he has written his book or when he has given his speech, he was his maybe in late 20s or in early 30s, not more than that. So he was of our own age for the youths actually. And even if you read his one line or any line what he has written, you get motivated and you get charged up to do something. And like if we, even today, if we see in Amazon what are the top books, all are self-help book. So one of the greatest self-help book which I feel is the Bhagavad Gita. So these two things which I feel that we youth should read and get understand our own on own self, own oneself, and do something, get motivated. Because what I feel is in spirituality we say that for what we have to train is our mind. Once mind takes play, mind decides something, it gets manifested in actual gross world. So that thing should happen for the country as a consciousness. Our country's mind should be that yes, we should be number one, we should get number one, and I will help to make this country number one in every aspect. It's not about just economy, every aspect in sports, economy, culture, spirituality, everywhere. And we have this capacity. We are not a small country, and so our mind should first get trained. And that, so the books from Vivekanand, Savarkar, these books are like we can actually train our mind, decide something what we can do, and then focus. Even my book can help in small way.
No, no, I'm sure it's a small package, but it's definitely going to help a lot of people. And what are your future plans? What all are you writing next? And what do we expect from you? Are you going to go in the same genres and just
I am like still it is in progress. It has not started much to mention most thing. But my next target will be I'm thinking of writing about everybody knows about Shivaji Maharaj. He is our probably the greatest king in our country. But his spiritual guru, Samartha Ramdas Swami, he actually is something similar to what Shankaracharya did around in the 8th century and what Vivekanand did in 19th, 20th century. Similarly, he did in that 17th century. He actually written many books, and all his writing are still relevant, or all are his writing are like management lessons for the youth. Same like he has written some more about our country also, that how one should take the country forward. Though he was a saint, and he has the right to become inclusive and sit in Himalayas and be peaceful, but instead of that he came out and he guided the youth of that time to go take that time's country forward, because we were into slavery before Shivaji Maharaj came into place, and he took people ahead. So his story is also very much inspirational, and unfortunately his writing is only in Marathi, so people are not aware that much about his work. So maybe I will go into that direction now.
That'd be really nice. And one of the last questions from my side. I have one question in the chat too, so that I'll take it up after this. Do you agree that initial way to counter any ignorance is to have an informed view? I mean, meaningful public debates, perhaps, and meaningful maybe documentaries on the news. I mean, be informed and then rather be ignorance. So, what is the way to wake up India in nutshell?
Yes. So, to in nutshell, I can say that one should be first aware about your own civilization,
Hmm.
our own self, and then we can take this our civilization forward and make our country proud. And let's not be complacent, or also see that someone other person can do it. We have a saying in Marathi that शिवाजी जन्मो तो शेजारी जन्मो, मतलब अगर शिवाजी अगर पैदा होना है तो नेबर के पास हो, मेरे घर पे ना हो, because all the problems, all the sufferings of becoming great have we need to face. So that should not be the attitude of our country. We should, now we need 100 Shivaji Maharaj in our country to make this take this country forward. So for that we need to get awakened first, and that's what I will say about this in short.
Fantastic. And I think that's a beautiful note to end on. But I have one question in the chat, which I would like to take. It is from Mr. Shankar. Haven't some people hijacked the word secularism? And in reality, they are apologists of Islamic radicalism and Maoism. So, what do you have to say to that?
Yes, yes, correctly. He mentioned correctly, because where the people are very much expert. If you see that even our prime minister has correctly said about the ecosystem, that how if anything is happening in our country, in the minority community, it is like showed with so much debates and everything, everywhere it is in the topic. But something has happened with our community now. The recent example which we are all going through, not an example, but because of the movie we are going through, the Kashmir
Yes.
files. It is unbelievable when we read about it or know about it. And I don't know whether people know about it, but that exodus or the genocide was the seventh genocide. It
Mm.
was happening from last 700 years to the Kashmiri Pandits. When I went into it, read more about it, it was like you cannot just even read those things, but what happened to them. But it is kept close for us, and this is the right time and high time that the all the Indian lovers, I won't say a Hindu community, but those who love India should come together, and that power will be immense power who can take this country forward, and also not just, as I said, economically, narrative wise also.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much for such enlightening thoughts. And thank you so much for guiding us through your book as to how to wake up and identify our true identity as an Indian. Thank you for
Thank
being on
you.
our platform today. It's such a pleasure.
Same here.
Yes. And thanks to Garuda Prakashan for making this session possible. Please do not forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, and you'll find many more notifications on such amazing author interactions we keep on having. Thank you. Thank you all for joining.